The fascinating short story of Glucose Spike, part 4 of 6, the mighty mitochondria. Wow, that part 1 electron, part 2 photosynthesis, and part 3 human body chemistry glucose story was fascinating. But how is that going to help my 401k? Glad you asked. Instead of retirement health, let's talk about your health and glucose sugar. Part 4, our story characters. Professor Owl, Glucose Spike, the mighty mitochondria, efficient electron. From part 3, we have glucose in our blood sugar, 8 billion molecules per second used. How does that, along with proteins and fats, get converted to useful energy in our bodies? Now what? Glad you asked. Just like an automobile has an engine to convert its fuel to useful work energy, explodes, oxidizes gasoline fuel to make the car's wheels turn, and we go, our bodies have mystical engines, powerhouses, except the difference is instead of one engine, we have a lot, and they all coordinate with each other. The mystical oxidizing engines living in our cells are called the mitochondria. That gives us the energy of life, heart to pump, lungs to breathe, muscles to push and pull, digestive work, cell division and growth, and all the other life forces. How many mitochondria engines are there? Our bodies have over 37 trillion cells, and most cells contain hundreds to thousands of mitochondria. The heart, brain, muscle, and liver cells tend to have more engines. Let's just round the estimate to 37 quadrillion mitochondria. Like I said, a lot to coordinate. These engines are highly efficient, and that is why they only need 1 to 4 cups of glucose sugar fuel per day to keep us going, depending on how much we exert ourselves. Before we dig a little deeper into that mystical mighty mitochondria engine, let's take a little side tour to visit the inside of our cells, where the engines live. Cell lives matter and vary. Nerve and fat cells live for decades. Skin cells are replaced every few weeks. Cells come in all shapes and sizes. Muscle cells stretch and contract. Nerve cells transmit signals, and immune cells hunt for invaders. The human cell structure. Cell membrane, its skin. It limits in and out movements like oxygen and glucose in, carbon dioxide out. The ribosomes, the protein factories. The endoplasmic reticulum, not Harry Potter speak, produces fats, processes proteins. The Golgi apparatus, it's a packaging and shipping center for proteins. Lysosome, water, a waste treatment plant. The centrioles assists cell division and reproduction nursery. The mitochondria, the cell power station. Cytoplasm, the factory jail soup atmosphere. Nucleus, the DNA control center, the cell brain. Oh boy, we finally made it to the fun stuff. The mighty mitochondria. The power plant of each cell and the life force that keeps us up during the day and asleep during the night. This living engine is complex, so we will take it slow and easy in what is going on inside that engine and its connection with Glucose Spike. First, basic structure. The mighty mitostructure. The outer membrane, it's a protective skin. It limits stuff in and out of the mitochondria. The inner membrane, where energy is developed. The intermembrane space sets up an electric charge between outer and inner membrane, electron and proton stuff. Say it's like a capacitor. also known as a proton gradient. Yep, more than you wanted to know. The cristae increases the surface area to improve reactivity. The matrix, the main area where the energy chemistry takes place. Ribosome, protein factory. DNA, blueprint of the mitochondria. The basic operation of the mitochondria powerhouse, making energy so us humans can function above ground. Blood glucose fuel, with the aid of insulin, and oxygen, what we inhale, enter the cell and then the mitochondria. Food molecule glucose from the bloodstream, our digestive system, enters the cell because the insulin knocks and unlocks the cell door for the glucose to enter. The calorie energy from glucose is extracted in a chemical reaction, an oxidation with oxygen, relocation of outer shell valence efficient electron. Carbon dioxide byproduct exits the mitochondria, what we exhale. The extracted electron energy is used to convert ADP, the mitochondria chemical discharge battery, to ATP, the mitochondria's chemical recharge battery. When recharged, ATP, a triphosphate, reacts with water and enzymes in the mitochondria and produces ADP, a diphosphate, plus an inorganic phosphate, plus free energy. What this whole process is all about, for the cell to use to power its biological needs. The ADP-ATP cycle continues so long as the cell has an energy demand. Wow, that mighty mitochondria is mighty mighty. How about a little more inside scoop about ADP and ATP? The energy currency of life. Adenosine triphosphate, ATP, provides energy for cellular activities. The ATP molecule is produced by cell respiration. It uses oxygen. A simplified cell mitochondria respiration chemical process. I did say simplified. An oxidation relocation of valence electrons. What is going on inside the cell and mitochondria? Glucose plus enzymes in a process called glycolysis produces pyruvate and the nucleotides, NADPH. Yep, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, hydrogen carrier. Not that again. It then produces with oxygen and enzymes an oxidative phosphorylation process plus ADP gives us the charged battery, ATP, plus carbon dioxide and water. ATP, the adenosine triphosphate, is an unstable charged battery with energy. The triphosphate part is where the energy is stored. The ribose is a sugar, and the adenine a purine, building block for DNA. Something not very useful for those that suffer with gout. Adenine diphosphate ADP, the discharged battery molecule after ATP discharges its energy to the cell. A simplified hydrolysis, react with water and enzyme, of ATP to produce ADP, a chemical process. Relocation of valence electrons. Enzymes plus ATP, the charged battery unstable phosphate bond, plus water, yields ADP, the stable discharge battery, plus a free phosphate group, plus energy for the cell, the objective, to do work and move muscles. ADP, a stable discharge battery without energy. The diphosphate part is where the battery energy is stored and discharged. Ribose is a sugar. Adenine a purine, building block for DNA. That ADP-ATP discussion was like watching paint dry. Putting it all together. The miracle and mystery of the human cell and mighty mitochondria energy production from food, glucose, and oxygen. The stuff of life. The simplified, said that before, ATP-ADP energy cycle. The stable discharged ADP battery absorbs or recharges energy from food, glucose, to produce ATP. The unstable ATP-charged battery is ready to be discharged. ATP discharges its energy to do work like move a muscle to the cell, returning to discharged battery ADP to be recycled back to ATP. End of part 4. Summary. Conversion of digested food to energy takes place in human cells and the mighty mitochondria. ATP-ADP are the magical human rechargeable molecule batteries that functions in all our mitochondria that provides the energy to operate. End of part 4.